Hello and welcome to the channel at the end of the universe. Welcome to a non-gaming related video. In September it will be 2 years since I moved to Exeter, and I've been thinking a lot about the experience of moving and changing countries and the positives and the negatives. In these 2 years, even though a lot of things in my life haven't been that great, when I think about it, I really enjoy living here. I found it easier than I thought it would be to move to another country, and I really think that a lot of that is to do with the fact that I moved to England. I think that the culture here in the UK actually fits my personality quite well, even though I also think that when you become an immigrant you get much more aware of your own cultural background and of quirks that you acquired that you never really thought about because you just took them for granted. But it's not as difficult as a lot of people make it out to be. I'm from Portugal, as you know, and being from Portugal, I was warned by other Portuguese people who had moved here about two things in specific: the weather and the food, both of which are considered huge parts of Portuguese culture. The weather because Portugal is in general a sunny country. I'm from Porto, so that doesn't apply to me as much as it would if I was from Lisbon or from the Algarve. And the food and the drink because that's basically what Portuguese life is all about. It shouldn't come as a surprise when I tell you that the weather here in England is pretty much rain all year long. But you know what? I don't mind it that much. I'm not your typical Portuguese person in that I don't actually love hot weather. Actually, I suffer a lot in the worst summer days there in Portugal. I just hide inside the house. So I prefer moderate climates, and even though I do get sick of the sky here in Exeter because it's almost always overcast and very grey and very nondescript, I don't mind the weather that much. I just wish we had more interesting clouds here. So moving on to the food. The food here in the UK has a bit of a bad reputation, which in my opinion is undeserved. I can't say that I prefer English food to Portuguese food. That would not be true. After 3 or 4 months of not going to Portugal, I literally start dreaming about specific Portuguese foods. That's how bad it gets. But that doesn't mean that the UK doesn't have really amazing things to eat, especially when it comes to biscuits, cakes, bread, actually desserts in general, pies, and also drinks. I have become obsessed with cider, which I had never tried before coming here. I have to say though, I live in Devon, which has a very rich culture of food and drink. I can't really speak for the rest of the country, but I'm assuming it's not that different. I just realized that I didn't tell you what this video is about. This video is about my top 5 favorite things about moving to England. No, that was a very bad sentence. Let me try again. The top 5 best things about moving to England. And actually, let's make that the number 1 thing that I like about England: the food and the drink. By the way, this is not a top 5. Did I call it a top 5? No, the 5 best things about moving to England. I can't remember. I literally just said that and I can't remember. Anyway, this is in no particular order. The first is the food and the drink. Let me give you some concrete examples. Cider. I love dry cider. I don't really like the sweet varieties. Dry or semi-dry for me. And it's become my favorite thing to drink with meals. Bread. If you watch my channel, you know that bread is one of my favorite things in the world. I have never tasted a bread that I didn't like. There are so many varieties here and all of them are really good. Next, cakes, scones, cream tea, buns, anything related to tea time really. The English people have that down to a science/art form. I myself prefer coffee, which is incidentally not one of the best things about moving to England, but you know, tea is fine. Biscuits, chocolate digestives, bourbon creams, fig rolls, jammy dodgers, hobnobs, custard creams, Cadbury chocolate fingers. What else do I like here? Cheese. Give me all the cheese. God, I'm getting hungry. Also related to this, I love the pub culture. I'm not really a club person. I like places where I can talk to people without having to shout at their faces. And pubs are just really cozy and comfortable places to socialize while you are eating and drinking. It's awesome. Number 2, the countryside. I have real trouble working while I'm on the train here because I just can't stop looking out the window. The landscapes here are incredible. It feels like you are staring at postcards all the time. There are plenty of national parks here which are very popular. I find that people really like walking in nature, which is a habit of mine that a lot of people think it's strange back home. Also, on a related note, English people really love their gardens. There are entire television channels dedicated to gardening. There are botanical gardens everywhere, and most cities have amazing parks right in the middle of the urban space. We're never far away from a nice green space, and the green is really green, and I really like that. Number 3. The culture. People here love culture. I work with a museum here in Exeter, and I can tell you that it's always packed. Whenever I go to another city and visit their museums, and this happens everywhere, especially in London, but it really happens everywhere, the museums and the heritage sites always have loads of people. And I'm sure that this is related to the fact that a lot of these places have free entry, which for me is a sign of a country that really values culture and the impact it can have on people's lives. There's also a lot going on here in terms of cultural events like concerts and plays and theater and just everything, especially in the bigger cities. But even here in Exeter, which is a small city, there's quite a lot going on. Which brings me to number 4, the humor. Honestly, you can't beat the wit and sarcasm of the English people. There are comedy clubs everywhere, a ton of comedy television shows, some of which are really good. It's also the birthplace of Monty Python, which I think says it all. Number 5, the language. I love the English language. I love the way it sounds, I love its idioms, I love that it's mostly not gendered and that it's easy to learn. I love the swear words, I love all the different accents. Also, a lot of my favorite writers are from the UK, and I love that I can read their books in their original forms. So these are my 5 favorite things about moving to England. I could have picked lots of other things. The people, for example. There are a lot of things that I like about the English people besides their humor, like their politeness and the ability to queue. I could also have picked the NHS, which is surely one of the best things to come out of the UK. But since this is a list of things that I liked about moving to England, Portugal also has an NHS, which is pretty decent. It doesn't really count. I could have said the BBC. I spend a lot of time watching and listening to BBC programs, which is something that I did not do in Portugal. I didn't watch television, I didn't listen to the radio, but now I do. That would have been a good choice. So yeah, number 6, the BBC. So there you have it. These are my favorite things about moving here. If you are from England or the UK, just tell me what are your favorite things about your country. If you are an immigrant here, also tell me what you liked about moving to England. And if you're an immigrant elsewhere, well, just tell me what you found was difficult and easy and great about moving to another country. I would like to know what your experience was. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.